In this video, we'll see about language translators. So, what are these language translators? So, there are three language translators. One is assembler, the second one is compiler, and the third one is interpreter. Assembler is nothing but it converts the assembly language into machine code or object code. As discussed in the earlier videos, machine code is nothing but the binary language code which is in the combinations of zeros and ones. So what does this assembler do? It converts assembly language into machine code. Converts assembly language into machine code or object code. And the next one is the compiler. What does this compiler do? Compiler and interpreter have the same function. What does this both do is they convert the high level language. High level language means the language in which we are writing our codes, which is understandable by the humans. So if I am writing a code in C language, suppose hash include stdio.h int a int b, I am giving some data types and I am giving everything. And now the computer cannot understand that language. Instead, it understands it only in the combination of zeros and ones. So compiler converts that particular written code into this combination of zeros and ones. So this compiler and interpreter converts high level language into machine code or object code. Now let's see what is a compiler. Compiler is used to convert high level language into machine code. As discussed, compiler and interpreter do the same. So high level language is written as HLL. So high level language loni code machine code loki ela compile avutundi with the help of compiler. And this converts before execution of the program. Mana program execution chese munde this compiler converts the whole code into machine code. What it does, converts all statements at a time into object codes. Compilation process includes three steps. One is translation, the other one is linking and loading. I'll explain about these three in the next coming videos. Now, after compiling the complete code at last, we will be getting the errors in the form of warnings or line numbers. Suppose I am writing some 40 lines of code. My compiler before the execution it compiled each and every line at a time, and at the last we'll be having warnings in the console. So that is called that is representing this point. And debugging is very tough using compiler because at a time it is checking for the code and we cannot find the errors easily. So what type of languages use this compiler? C uses it, C++ also uses it. So now what is happening is you are writing your source code and compiler converts it into the output. I hope you understood this. Now let us see what is an interpreter. Interpreter is used to convert high level language into machine code, same as a compiler. But the only difference between this is compiler executes everything at a time but interpreter checks it line by line. So if we are doing the code in PyCharm while we are writing the code, PyCharm means Python language uses this interpreter. So when you are writing a code in Python language, what happens? While if there is an error in any line, it shows a red mark against that line. So interpreter works in that way. So this also converts the line into object code or machine code, and while we get errors while debugging line by line, and debugging is very easy in this interpreter. So the languages that uses Python, Java, Ruby, etc. So this is the basic concept of compiler and an interpreter. In the next video, we'll see what are the features of C programming.